Hello everybody and welcome to this new video of Opus Magnum. Last time I didn't know where we left off, but because I did it in one go, so I don't know where this will be cut. But we'll get right back to where we stopped. If you don't know what this is all about, please go back to the first episode because there you will get all the explaining you will need. Anyway, let's get right into it. Then next, that's tracks. So I didn't open a new one. Nope. On tracks, you can move the pistons around. So here I place a track. You can drag it like this. It will roll up, and you also can make loops if you want to. So that's possible. And here you see you can place the arm anywhere on the track, and you can see that here on one end of the track there is a minus and on the other one there's a plus. Well, what this means is here I have two new instructions, that being minus and plus. Well, if you say minus, it will move the arm one in the direction of the minus sign. So if it's here and you do minus, it will move to here. If it's here and you say plus, then it will move to here. So what we need to do is we need to pick it up, then move 2 times to the plus, so 1, 2, then move 2 times, like rotate 2 times, 1, 2, clockwise, and then let's see, we can reset it again. Then you will see, picks it up, moves 2 times, rotates 2 times, drops off, and begins again. And 6. Next one is transmutation, and this is where you change the atom that you're working with. There are quite some ways to do this, but the first one is the Glyph of Classification. And what this will do, it will turn air, fire, water or earth. So if you move one of these 4 elements over it, then that element will turn into salt. So that's quite handy if you only have fire as an input, for example, but you have also salt as your output, then you will need to use a Glyph of Classification. So what you do is you pick it up, then we need to use a piston, then you retract it. So if you retract it, then it will move over this Glyph of Classification, and then we move it to the right, then it's over here, so it first retracts, goes to here, and we drop it off and reset. So if you see, it picks it up, it moves to the back, and it turns into an atom of salt, and it goes there, and it drops it off. So that's the most basic form to change an atom into another atom. There are some way more complicated ones than that. I mean, more complicated. What you also can do is place it here and place the Glyph of Classification over here, so you can choose where you place things. Here not entirely, but if you get to the real levels, you can choose where to place things. Move to the right, then retract, and then reset. So first, now it will move to the right, it turns into an atom of salt, it goes back and it drops it off. Last lesson, bonding. So that's with this part, and if you move if there is one atom here and one atom here, they're bonded to one another. So if you move one of those 2 atoms, the other one will go with it, and it turns into a molecule. I see that the instruction, no, it's because I didn't open a new one. So I need to place 2 items here, one for this salt atom and one for this salt atom. First, what I will do is for both, I pick them both up, I move them. For 3 I move them counterclockwise, for 4 clockwise. For 4 I can already reset, but for 3 I move again to the left, because then this one is bonded, so the other salt atom will move with it. Then I need to rotate it like this, because if I don't do that, then it will end up like this. So I need to do this pivot instruction. So this rotates the atoms held by the arm clockwise by 60 degrees, and then we reset, and all should be good in the robot. Okay, not all, but in this level at least. And it works. So those are all the tutorials. This is the first actual level. By the way, there is some story woven into it, and you can all read these always. And if you go to here, you have some things, and then you have these with some dialogue. I'll quickly go through it. It's quite an interesting story, in fact. I'm not through it entirely, of course, but I can also do that. Go over that if you want me to. So the story in this chapter is that he just is a student and he's learning this stuff. So this is the first actual level. So in an actual level, you need to place all the things yourself. So you have your products, what you need to make, your reagents. Those are the things you get as inputs. You have the mechanism, so you have the arm, you all know that one. Then you have the piston, you also know that one, and the track as well. But what are these things? Well, these things are just basically arms, but with more arms. Okay, like that looks dumb. That sounds dumb, but you get what I mean. Then you have different glyphs. So glyphs are to change the atoms. The glyph of bonding, to bond them together, you already seen that one. The glyph of multi-bonding, so you can bond multiple atoms together at once. Then you have the glyph of unbonding, that does the reverse of the bonding, but you don't need that one in quite well. Then you have the glyph of classification, to turn fire, earth, water, or air into salt. And you have this one. This doesn't cost anything, but doesn't do anything as well. This is just for decoration or to mark things. So you place all these things, then you get your instruction set with this is piston 1, so these are instructions for piston 1, and this is piston 2, so these are the instructions for pistons 2. And then you give them instructions and you see how it works. At least I hope it works. So in this case, stabilized water, this is the first actual level. What you do is you get 2 water atoms as input, and you have as output a salt, and that is bonded to water. So you need to bond the waters, and one of those waters you need to turn into salt. So what I do is with R number 2, I just take this wire and go to here. Then I wait for piston 1, because piston 1 first picks it up, first moves it over a glyph of classification, and then bonds it to the other water, and then 2 moves it out of the product and resets it, and drops it off. So you need to make SAS6 again. Then your transmutation engine is valued over 3 different sectors, being cost, cycles, and area. Cost is every component has a certain cost, so all the costs of all the different components together is your total cost. The less cost the better, actually it's for everything, the less the better. Then you have cycles, that's how long it takes to make 6 products. So that one cycle is like one instruction part, so this is one cycle, another, and you see this one is sticking up and to 40, and area, that's how much of these hexes you use. And if you activate it, you can click on this and it will show all the area you use. You might see, well, I use all this, but why are these two highlighted? Well, if you see here, this moves, it's quite hard to see, but it moves it like this and it passes over these. So what that means is if you would have an arm base here, it would collide with that arm base. Now it will go slower. Oh wait, no, it's only this one. Yeah, but it still counts. You see, it collides with this arm base, so that also counts as area. But you see, this atom also moves over this hex, so that's what it counts. So over everything, the last is better. You can find lists of the minimum values online. And here we also have a histogram of the average of people, so you can see that a lot of people did it on 60G, a lot of people did it on about 40 cycles, and a lot of people did it on about 12 area. So what I like to do is not find one solution that just satisfies them all, but for each different category, one really good solution. Cost and area in the beginning is the same. So what I do is first, in this one, I firstly put in the water atom on the bonding. Also, you don't need to use all of your reagents because water and water is the same, obviously. I just use one, and that means I can get to all of the things I need with just one arm. Then I pick it up and move it to over the Glyph of Classification, because already an atom has appeared again. I can't move it back, then it would collide, so I need to go all around and then I drop it off. So this is the most cost efficient you can be, because you need at least one arm, you need a Glyph of Classification, and you need a bonder. And this is also the most area efficient because you need all those things and you don't use any extra hexes. And then you have cycles, and cycles I won't explain them all, but this is my first one. So I used 3 armed arm. Okay, that's the word. So you can see I already was in the best part of people, but I went ahead. I got it down to 21 cycles from 25. And that works like this. So you have 2 arms for each atom, it's way too fast, and 2 pistons to pull them back, so it bonds them first, and then it turns one of the waters into salt. Okay, and last one works with a track that goes around and multiple arms on a track. It's quite chaotic that all pick up. Yeah, it's quite hard to explain, but the first part is exactly the same like the previous one, but then the arm pick them up, they move them over and they go back, so the arm already, I'll do it like this. So you see that it picks it up and the next arm is already in place to pick it up again. Because if you go back to here, you can see that these arms are always waiting a little bit, and that wastes time. So with this setup, they're not wasting any time. They're constantly moving. So this will be the introduction episode. I am looking at the timer and I see that 30 minutes have passed, so this will be a two-parter. But anyway, if you want to see more of this content of Opus Magnum, type down in the comments down below. Also tell me how you want me to do this. Do you want me to just go over all my different solutions, or do you want me to live stream it? I don't know, or just make me see new solutions? Just tell it down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, please consider subscribing and liking. It would really make my day. Have a good day, and bye!